Hi, One Stars and fellow YouTubians. Cynthia here, and I have Jeri with me from Living from Heart Center. She's joining us today. So all I need to know is if you're ready to be the being you want to be. Let's have tea with the universe. So Jeri, tell me a little bit about you and what you do.
Well, I am the founder of a business called Living from Heart Center, where I help people do just that. Really learn to open their hearts, because most people are, especially in Western society, tend to be very head dominant and have a lot of suppressed and trapped emotions, and really need to learn how to open up that feeling place so that we can move forward and complete the past. So what I'm finding is, at least in my life, and I know my own journey, I was dragging a whole lot with me. So I needed to declutter my life, and mentally and emotionally and spiritually. So that's really kind of, it's like a process of decluttering everything that you're not, so that you're left with everything that you are, and you can really start to embody the truth of who you are and discover the brilliance and the light and your gifts, and learn how to authentically express in the world. So all of my work kind of boils down into that process of self-love, of forgiveness, which to me is completing the past, completing your karma. And so we don't need to keep dragging that heaviness and that density forward with us.
That's amazing, and it's amazing that you offer that with others. Do you find that by helping others, it really helps you with anything you're going through?
Yes. The perfect souls like you always just kind of show up for me, right? So we do kind of, we attract what we need, we attract what we are. We, the clients that come into my reality, often it turns into friendships. So there's really a lot of magic and synergy there. So
absolutely.
So definitely, it's really hard to get out of your own way and see your own stuff. And so sometimes you just need to start just sharing, right? Sharing what you do know. And then you start to realize that you know a lot more than you realize, right?
Or, I find if you share what you know and someone else maybe gives you a different way to look at something, and then all of a sudden what you know becomes so much more. You thought you knew what you knew, but you understand more by sharing, because you see it from another perspective, or you see it from another point of view.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when someone's sitting across from me, I hear myself and what's coming forth for this person, and recognize, wow, that's totally what I needed to hear, right? It's not just for them, it's for me, but thank God for them, because that gave me the opportunity to get out of my own way and really hear myself and access my own answers. So
that happens more often than not, I find, for myself. Even when I'm doing readings for someone, I find that a lot of the messages that come through are messages I need to hear as well. A lot of the times.
Definitely. We're all connected.
Oh, absolutely.
There are no accidents here.
No.
So.
And a little about mine and Jeri's relationship. I met Jeri 3 years ago? Or was it 4 years ago?
Seems like I've known you for a long time.
In this lifetime.
3 or 4 years ago. Let me see here. Yeah, because I've been practicing childotherapy and this kind of stuff for about 7 years now. So probably about 4 years ago.
Yeah. So
3.5.
I was brought to Jeri for childotherapy because I was at a very, very low point in my life, and she showed me the way.
It's a path to awakening and a path to really...
Excuse me, I know.
Okay. A path to really learn how to love yourself and awaken to the truth of who you are. So dismantling all of the illusion of who your belief systems and all of the ideas and identities and roles that you play and everything that gets in the way of really knowing yourself, because knowing yourself is loving yourself.
It is. And once I started coming to your classes, certain things would pop up, and like we mentioned earlier, the fleas. But, the more you fight it, the more it's going to affect you until it actually knocks you down and you have nowhere to go but either up or you're down. You're as low as you can possibly be. You have to start listening to that inner voice and start being true to yourself, or it's just horrible.
It's very true. Yes, I remember well you coming in and your energy and just like, holy smokes, like, who is this person? Definitely took notice and felt you and felt your presence. And so really learning how to laser focus that kind of energy that you have and that presence and align everything. I'm like, hey, this woman is a powerhouse soul. And once you get all those pieces all lined up, which is really what trilotherapy is, right? Is balancing your head and your heart, getting them working for each other instead of against each other. And then having this, waking up the parent, the inner parent, or the awareness, the soul, so that you can really live from that place of love and not fear, of an aligned place where you're just living in that flow and the synchronicities. And you'd come in and you'd have these stories and like that. I swear to God, you could start to see the energy just swirling when you entered the room, and people would just lean in and sometimes get really high. We decided we definitely could just be high on life. We didn't need any kind of substance. We just needed Cynthia. So we do these. We really learned how to ground. And so thanks to you.
I learned how to ground as well.
So Cynthia, she referred to the fleas. So she used to, every time she would come into one of the sessions, she would feel itchy.
It's so itchy from head to toe.
And so I'm like, that's interesting. Like something's itching to show up or to come out, right? And then when I was teaching about suffering, and so there's a lesson in trilotherapy called the suffering scale to really help people understand that suffering comes from the inside, right? Like,
excuse me.
Comes from the inside. See, she's getting it all out. So, like it really is directly related to the amount of split between your head and your heart, between your mind and emotion, and how much we suppress certain parts of ourselves. And so I was reading and teaching a lesson around suffering and reading a story about one of the discourses that Buddha gave. So he gave a speech one time and talked about a dog that just couldn't get comfortable. So this dog, he'd be lying on the steps and then he'd change positions and then he'd go and sit on the rocks and then be fidgeting all the time, and he just couldn't get comfortable no matter where he was. He just kept changing positions every 30 seconds. And then what his problem was actually that he had fleas. And so the idea is that just like the dog that had fleas, it wasn't, it wasn't the outside, it wasn't the environment, it wasn't the rocks, it wasn't the steps, it wasn't the people, it wasn't the noise, it was the inside that was causing his suffering. And so humans have fleas just like
when we're not authentic.
The dog, right? and Cynthia was like, oh my God, that's it. She's like, that's what this itching is. I have fleas. So like inner fleas, right? Really just having to bring those into alignment and really look at yourself and get really honest with yourself. And there's this inner turmoil that we have when we don't even know how to be authentic. Like, what even is that? We don't even know how to love ourselves.
When I'm not authentic with myself now, I get itchy again. It brings me right back to then, like that time when we didn't know what it was, and now I'm more aware, and it's like, oh wait, what am I not doing?
Yeah, because I think it went away after that.
It did.
Once
after
you
that,
knew what it was. And so 90% of change is just awareness.
Yeah.
And so awakening the witness or the observer of your reality, really the one that's aware of your thoughts, the one that's aware of your emotions, is a very high degree of just spirituality that helps move you forward. Just becoming aware, because really that's closer to the truth of who you are than any other part.
Absolutely.
The part that's aware of your thoughts, the part that's aware of your emotions. And so I teach mindfulness and meditation practices because that really is the way to strengthen that part so that it takes more of a leadership role than our fearful programmed head or our heart that can be very dramatic and very chaotic and kind of all over the place. So important to have that awareness.
It is, and I just want to say hi to Colleen and Lynn and Daphne and Leah and Sarah and Tina. It's nice to see you guys.
Sweet.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for all the hearts. I love those.
So did we ever figure out what the smell of cat pee was? Do we know where that comes from?
Yeah, that was the other thing. It was yeah, I'd be getting in my car on the way to our child therapy sessions, and I'd be like, what? Like, what is that? Did the cat get in the car? And then you would show up and you give me a hug and you're like, I'm so sorry. I think I smell like cat pee. I can't get rid of this cat pee smell. I'm like, what? I thought that was me. So I think we had, to me,
a synchronicity. We were connected somehow because
it was some kind of, I think there's guides, right?
Yeah.
Guides and angels. And I think because
do they have to smell like cat pee?
I don't know. That was the funniest thing because it was always when I was going to see you that it would come up. And
Me too.
Yeah. So we had this same visitor, our guide or
whatever
something.
it was.
And I had one that smelled like flowers. So I used to smell, and I thought, oh, that's like a grandmotherly energy. I think it was, I think it actually might be my grandmother that passed.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like tobacco smell.
But those are nice. So you smell something nice, you think of your grandma. You smell cat pee,
you
think of me.
I don't know. But I hardly ever smell it anymore. But once in a while, and I always think, oh, Cynthia, or something that we have going on there. But but yeah, nobody else smelled it, just us.
No, and I was so worried
good.
because we'd always hug, right? Everyone would hug in the group and it'd be like, please don't breathe, please don't breathe. Just, I showered, I promise I showered.
And of course, in my workshops, when you hug, you're very encouraged to take that breath because there's so much healing and that availability of just opening your heart a little more. When you're willing to take a breath as you hug and really hug mindfully and allow yourself to be held by the universe, right?
Yep.
Kind of like tea with the universe, right? That everyone represents that.
Mm-hmm.
We are the universe. The universe is in us. We are in the universe. But really, the bigger truth is the universe is in us.
Absolutely. And we are the universe. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've seen it quite a few times on Facebook, but I saw it again today with the pictures, and it shows like the tree of life and a placenta. The similarities, how they're almost identical. And then I think it's your eye and the Milky Way or something, and how they're identical. And then a leaf and
probably the veins and
the arteries and everything, and how it's all identical and how we're all connected.
Yeah, there is no separation, and being with nature is a great reminder of who we are actually, and just that, and to take that time to be still. And that's what, there's just so many shifts and so much more available. Something's opened up, don't you think?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Like there's just something.
Absolutely.
There's so much more available right now in this energy of 2020 vision and the new decade. And
there's so much more energy and so much.
Emotion. Like people are, I don't know if they're just tapping into their emotional body a little bit more.
I think they are.
But man, I'm feeling a lot more.
Me too.
But it's been kind of intense. But then now there's this, I don't know, the last few days, I'm just in so much gratitude. I'm so excited for the shift, like what's happening and what's available. And like, I can feel it in my body right now, just talking about that. So I know that we're entering a new stage and a new chapter of blank pages that we really can write. And we can write a new story for ourselves and for the world, really.
And I'm finally at that place now where I don't know, I will remember something, and I don't know if I remembered it, that it happened yesterday or if it happened centuries ago, and it'll be a conversation I had with someone, or didn't. And Lynn can attest to that, and Brian and Jeri, and I believe Daphne can as well. But and I'll be talking to Brian and I'll say, did we talk about this yesterday? And he's like, no. And I said, because I'm feeling we spoke about this like 30 years ago, but it could have been yesterday, but it could be next week, and I'm not sure. And he's like, a year ago I wouldn't have understood what you were saying, but now I just smile and nod and say, okay.
If you say it happened, it probably happened on some level, in some reality, in some lifetime, some parallel lifetime.
Yeah. Well, with the Weekly Wand, I could have swore I sent Lynn a list of upcoming events. And I was like, I know I did. I sat at the computer. I sent it to you. And I said, however, it didn't happen. I was like, but in a parallel universe, I did it. And she was like, I believe you that you did in a parallel universe, but you did not in this one. And I was so upset with myself because I knew I had sent them to her, but I also knew that it made no sense because I didn't.
Yeah, well, see all these hearts, we're not the only ones that have these really weird experiences, right?
And then Daphne, cat urine is one of the strongest and most tenacious smells there is. So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it was just reminding you both how powerful you really are.
Oh, maybe.
As powerful as cat pee. Thanks, Daphne. Love you too. Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, you just have to have fun with it.
Oh, yeah.
So really discovering that balance between taking everything seriously and nothing seriously. And that everything matters and nothing matters.
Well, and you know what? There was a time when I took everything so seriously. And, well, when I first met you, there was a heaviness. There was such a heaviness. And then as, you know, the layers of that onion peeled off, or I became lighter and lighter and lighter, and my energy just started to...
Yeah, so you have to hold her down every so often. You need to get regular massages or body work, right? Some people, and it is actually important. I've been getting way more body work than I have in a long time. I've needed to in this past month or so, and really focusing on my energy, because there's looking at what's been draining me. So that's what I keep hearing from a lot of people, is how tired they are, because when something shifts so dramatically. And the planet really has shifted dramatically.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you're going to feel it, and it can show up as a bit of an energy drain. So I was looking at my life and where my mental energy was going, right? Because obviously, if there's a drain, that's evidence that you're probably not very present, right? That something is pulling you out of the presence. So there's something going on in your life, something you're maybe dwelling on that you haven't completed and need to do some forgiveness work around, or something that you're concerned about. Maybe money, maybe career, because there's a lot of people that are ending certain parts of their life, and then their new beginning hasn't come in yet. Like, what's next, and what am I meant to be doing now? Who am I meant to be with now?
But the one thing you taught me that has, I mean, there's a lot of things, but this is one thing that has stuck with me through thick and thin, is when I came into our group that one session, and it was my turn to speak. And I said, I'm nowhere. And you wrote on the board, nowhere, and said, what do you see? And I was like, I just told you, nowhere. And Michelle piped up, and she was like, no, now here. And I was like, So I think that space in between, that oblivion, you know, when you're oblivious to what's going on, you left all of this behind and you don't know what's ahead of you. Just sit in that stillness and feel it, and realize you're now here, and allow all of that stuff to come into your life. Don't look for it. Don't force it. Don't question it. Just be with it.
Yeah. I want you to breathe at this point. Because what Cynthia said is key, right? Those are the spaces that can feel like a dark night of the soul. You know, between your old self that's kind of fallen away and your new self that hasn't quite come in yet. But those are that stillness and that opportunity to just be present with yourself and be now here and rest in that stillness is probably the most important part of this whole journey of awakening to who you really are and loving yourself. Is being willing to really be with yourself, all parts, with your fears, with your with the love, with the emotional upheaval, like with your thoughts, all of it. And just sit in that stillness and be there for it. So, and I just tell myself, I love you, I'm listening.
That's so important. Another one, like the whole Ho'oponopono, like, I love you, thank you, forgive me. You know, and even, you know, with my strep throat that is finally on the way out, I thank you. I wasn't, you know, Daphne helped me look into that, and I wasn't being authentic to myself. I was biting my tongue about too many things, and I was, you know, it was that fear-based. Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? Another great lesson I've learned from you is fear, right? It's excitement without the breath.
Yes.
Like, don't be fearful. What do we have to be afraid of? Nothing. If you live in this moment, there's nothing to be afraid of.
Right. Yeah.
Nothing. Don't live for tomorrow. Don't live for yesterday. Live for right now and appreciate it. Because if you don't, if you live in the past or the future, you don't really live, do you?
No. Life only resides here and now.
Yeah.
And Nisam, the Zen master who developed trilotherapy, reminds us of 2 sentences. So in this moment, everything is all right. Sentence number 2, it's always this moment.
Exactly.
And so if you're not feeling good, you're focused on something that you don't want. Right? You're focused on what you don't want. You're either in the past or in the future. And so really to just become aware of that, acknowledge it. Don't ignore it or resist it. Just, oh, interesting. And then coming back to being really present and recognizing that everything really is all right. Right now,
Yes.
Everything is all right.
Even if, stressing out, and this is a big one for me, money was a huge stress for me. And stressing about money, say rent in 2 weeks, if you're going to stress about that every day, it's not going to change the outcome. And you're going to lose this moment. So you know what? Be happy now and things will work themselves out. The universe has your back. Like I am here to tell you, you believe, good things will come. The universe always has your back. Always.
Yeah, and that's been such an important lesson, really realizing that why some people suffer so much and others not so much. And they maybe, like the people that have done trilotherapy with me, there are people that it worked so well for, and they just, they lightened up. They started to just trust that everything is an opportunity for growth and evolution. And then there's others that it didn't seem to work as well for. And the difference was the relationship with the universe, or with existence, with life, right? So that some of them really did not have a very good relationship with existence and really didn't believe that the universe had their back and had this pretty solid belief that they were here alone. This is a pretty fearful place. If you feel like you're all alone, that's like standing on one leg, and the universe or existence, God, life itself is your other leg. So the two of you together in partnership, co-creating your reality, there's so much more stability. And so things aren't going to knock you down so much when you recognize that you are not alone, that the universe absolutely has your back, and really even just making that declaration is the start, right? Just saying.
Absolutely.
So what I have my clients do is I have them open up and just, okay, I hereby surrender.
Bring it on.
As general manager of the universe, trying to control everything, myself, everyone else, the situation, like standing on one leg, and I'm ready to be your partner. So show me what's in my highest, show me my next move, show me who I need to speak with today, and really just out loud, go outside, declare that you're ready to be in partnership, and trust me, just see what happens. And then your only job really is to be present. So
breathe.
So even say, make it obvious. Make sure I don't miss it. Like show me and make it obvious, so I don't miss it. Yeah, and take that deep breath and open yourself to receive, right? Because that receivership is key.
Oh, it is.
The giving is receiving, is giving is receiving, and there does need to be a balance in that.
Hi, Annabelle. So. Absolutely. Like, it goes back, and I am forever grateful. Like, from the day that I walked through the door for Trilo to the day that I walked out the door, I wasn't even the same person. Because, like you said, when you think you're alone, I was alone until I walked into that door and realized that I wasn't alone.
Yeah.
That there were people like me out there, and people that needed to hear my story, and stories that I needed to hear.
Yeah, and totally in acceptance, right?
Yes, no judgment.
Yeah, that's
zero judgment.
So important, because we're really only as sick as our deepest, darkest, shameful secrets. And so when we actually provide that safe space to complete the past and to reveal the stuff that you've been carrying around, this heaviness and the shame and the guilt, and then and I teach you the tools to release that. Like, first of all, acknowledging it, loving it, welcoming it, and then letting it go and making yourself available for what's actually here now. And you won't miss the magic anymore. You'll actually start to live in the miracle zone. And when you notice that you're not, you'll have the tools to check yourself, right? And to come back to here and now, and that place of of where life resides, where happiness resides.
And enjoy those tingles.
Yeah. Yeah. And you'll start getting that kind of stuff too, right? Like you'll know when you're not aligned.
You will. And you'll know when you are.
You will. Yes. Yes. Because you're living a split second ahead, right? And there's this, so you just know things, right? Your intuition is not just, it's not just your emotional guidance system. It's way beyond that when you're working from the witness perspective more.
Yes.
It's a step ahead, so it's a knowing. So you're actually dismantling and letting go of belief systems because there's always room for doubt in that. And starting to just trust yourself and know things. And you learn to trust yourself by trusting yourself, and that's probably the first step in self-love, is just opening up that trust relationship with yourself, which translates to being able to trust others more, and others trusting you more because you trust yourself more. If you don't even trust yourself, other people are going to kind of always wonder about
They're going to feel it, for sure.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if they can be trusted.
Yep.
Because that's the energy you're giving off, that you don't know if you can be trusted.
Yeah.
Especially if you break agreements with yourself constantly, then that basically tells, your head doesn't trust your heart. So that causes the disconnect between your head and your heart. I don't trust you.
Absolutely.
You made these New Year's resolutions.
And you never commit to yourself.
And you don't get up when you say you're going to in the morning. You keep pressing snooze. You don't get to the gym. You don't follow that diet that you said. And so when you break your self-trust over and over and over again, of course you're going to be second-guessing every decision.
And everyone else. Because if you're not true to
validation.
yourself, you're not going to trust anyone else because you're going to think that they're going to be dishonest and
you project
untrue.
Your stuff onto others. So.
Hi, Brian.
I think we covered a whole lot.
We did.
So I'm just going to let you know that I do have another trilotherapy program starting. I'd like to start it by the end of February. And it's a group one, like the one that you came to, because there's so much power in a group. And that ability to just really find that safe space to be vulnerable. Plus, there's always themes that show up. And there's always some triggers that can be worked through in that group energy. So if you are interested in the personal mastery in self-love and awakening, I'm going to be offering that starting at the end of February. So message me or go to Living from Heart Center, and
we can put the link in the comments when we're done too.
Okay. Yeah, people. And the other thing I was mentioning was the energy. Working with the energy body. So a lot of people kind of forget about that. There's the mental decluttering, belief systems, belief reprogram, the emotion code, which I also do to help people let go of emotional baggage and find and release trapped emotions. But there's a spiritual decluttering too that kind of works on the energetic level. So I've been practicing a lot of Qigong and getting back into Tai Chi and just opening up those energy channels and noticing, there was some serious blocks there, and they were manifesting physically in my body.
They always do.
So, and it's getting so much better now.
Good.
So I'm having a Qigong workshop on February 10th. So you'll want to come check that out. So the fellow that I've been working with has been doing Qigong for many years, and he's helped me so much. So I encourage you to come and practice really opening up those energy channels. And it's kind of like, a mindful movement, meditation in motion, and a really important part that I think sometimes gets neglected. And people need that right now because there's a lot of energy drains. There's so much shift and change, which does, make you feel tired all the time. So if you're experiencing that like I was, this really does help. So we're going to really help you harness some of that energy and bring it back in.
Well, and with the energy changes and the new energies arriving, people, they don't understand it. A lot of people aren't sure what's going on, and they think it's something with them or there's something wrong with them. And that's not it at all.
No, there's probably something right with you. If all your stuff is coming up, flying up, it's because it's coming up because you're ready to finally let it go.
And that's the thing,
it comes up to leave. So you're probably doing something right, pouring in a higher vibration, saying yes to yourself. Finally, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, so I'm ready.
No kidding.
Yeah, I remember you coming and saying, I'm ready, bring it on. I'm like, oh, be careful.
Oh, it came.
Oh, yeah, it came.
It happened very quickly for me.
Yes, a little bit of a whirlwind.
Yeah.
But lots coming up, lots going on. I'm bringing a group to Bali, May 1st to 11th. Being in Bali. So you can look that up on Eventbrite, beinginbali.eventbrite.ca, and I have some really awesome deals right now for the next 6 people because we want to get booking our flights soon. So I need a few more people until then we can book our flights and experience Bali, doing breath work, doing travel therapy, mindfulness,
so much
and
fun
meditation
for you guys.
Yes, and I've always wanted to go. So, and thanks to Annabelle, who's online. She introduced me to an awesome Bali contact who is just amazing, like amazing.
Oh, that's
we
wonderful.
synced up right away. So,
And then I have a few things coming up as well.
What do you have coming up?
I have my spirit guide connections coming up. So if you want to connect your spirit guides or learn how to astral travel.
Yeah, I know someone who's interested in that. Send me the details.
I will. So, or if you do astral travel and you want to share your details or speak with like-minded people, I've got some pretty good astral traveling stories myself.
Sweet. Yes.
So, that's from February 19th to April 15th. It's an 8-week group. I only am doing it with 4 people. I want it to be intimate, so I want everyone to be able to talk and connect. And then I also have my upcoming events. February 14th from 2 to 8, I will be at Miller Crossing Farmers Market, just doing jewelry at that market. And then again at the Norwood Legion, February 15th and February 16th. On the 15th from 11 to 5, the 16th 11 to 4, jewelry only. And then February 29th at the Free Spirit Market from 11 to 4, and I'll be doing readings there and jewelry. So if anyone wants to book a reading, hi Holly, do that. And then we also have Lynn's live stream readings on the Weekly Wand on February 20th at 1, and I may be joining her that day. We're not sure yet, but I would like to. We'll see. I think so.
Awesome. Yeah, and Cynthia's readings are awesome, so book a reading with
Thank you.
And her jewelry is, she like infuses it with her energy.
I do.
So you are going to feel, the rocks that you wear that she's touched.
I've had people come to our table and actually say, oh my God, the energy here, or go to pick up a piece and put it on and say, I can't, this left side of my body went numb, or it makes my heart race too fast. And I'm like, well, it's not for you then, it's for someone else.
Right, yeah.
Is there anything else you feel we should add?
I don't know, just, I guess the thing that's coming up right now for me is don't isolate yourself. Get connected.
Be true.
Find a
yourself.
community of people that you can share with, that you can be safe with. So I have workshops every second Monday at Inclusion, Alberta. If you go to Living from Heart Center on Facebook or Meetup, you can find the events, and you're always welcome to drop in. Sometimes they do fill up, like my Ho'oponopono March 9th. Those do tend to sell out. So you want to purchase tickets ahead of time for particularly that one. But like Cynthia's got a great community. We've got some great people that you will feel safe with and not judged. And no matter where you're at or how multidimensional your life is, there's a place. There's a place that you can just be who you are and know that it's unconditional. So come out and force yourself to love yourself enough to meet people and connect with people and not.
That's just it. It is unconditional. I mean, there's zero judgment. You can share anything, the most outlandish thing you might think you're sharing. And somebody there has experienced it or something similar to it, or they're so grateful that you shared it because they didn't have the courage to share it themselves.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. Like I can't say enough about Trilo or the teachings you do. Like it's phenomenal. So I encourage everyone to do it. Everyone.
Well, it really is kind of personal mastery of life, especially if you're on an awakening journey and are feeling kind of rocked by life and don't always have the tools right there, because you're going to practice them. So you're going to have access to a lot of really powerful tools for all levels, mental, emotional, and energetic.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I think we complement each other really well.
we do. So on that note, I want to show our glasses. These are Callista's. She let us use them today. I think they're perfect for Tea with the Universe.
They are.
And I want to do a shout out to Hayward Eclectic. Thank you, Melissa, for providing us with your sweet jasmine tea. It's actually it's green mint tea with sweet jasmine with mint and lime. It can be drank warm, or it can be chilled with lime wedge added to it. So thank you, Melissa. And if anybody wants to try this tea, please go to Hayward Eclectic or Melissa Hayward on Facebook. And I think that's it. Okay, thanks for joining us.
Have a fantastic week.
Yes.
And tomorrow night I have an activation circle with an awesome friend, Glenda Lane. So if you want to upgrade your DNA, she channels light language and will be leading us through kind of a whole cellular activation of who you are.
That's wonderful.
So yeah, there's lots of room still in that one.
Okay, see you next time. And don't forget to follow the Weekly Wand and Tea with the Universe on YouTube.
Yes.
Take care, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.